Greetings, it's me, Gh0st's, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to show you how to plant potatoes. Okay, so the first step in growing potatoes is to buy potatoes, called like seed potatoes or seedling potatoes. I'm going to assume most people interested in growing potatoes have already done this, but if not, you should start by actually buying the thing you plan to grow. Your potatoes themselves may come with instructions, and if you have instructions, be sure to follow them because they'll be the most accurate. But as you can see here, now you're going to want to cut up the potato so that there's like one sprout per piece you cut. So potatoes like this one that have, one sprout on them, they can be buried whole, but a potato like this one will have to be divided up a bit. You'll also see at this stage that there's a large variety in what growth stage the potatoes are in. There are some like these where they're kind of newer, and then there's some like this or like this where they've been growing a little bit in the bag, which potatoes can grow in bags. If you leave a bag of potatoes harvested alone, they'll start to do this. This is what potato eyes come from. With some potatoes, it's a little bit ambiguous how many like seed things they have. Because this one, you can tell is on top, but this tail on the bottom, is that going to grow into something? I don't know. I never really count the tails. Like here's another potato with a tail. And then other potatoes, there's just more decisions. Like this is two separate little starting seed things. So you could cut this one in half, and I may or I may not. Really depends how it goes. I probably will, because a lot of potatoes in this bag we just happened to get have like one main seed thing. Like this one doesn't, this one doesn't. But most of them, it's all in one area. So in order to get enough to plant in every row, we're probably going to need to cut a lot more judgmentally. Like I might even cut a second division through here, maybe. We also got a lot of really big potatoes with not very many sprouts. Don't be afraid when cutting potatoes in this step, because they're not going to grow misshapen underground. Not only will all of these send up plants, which will grow new potatoes, but these cut bits themselves will regrow into full potatoes. So you're going to get your money's worth from potatoes. Okay, so I put all the potatoes with one sprouting eye back in the bag, and I put the cut up potatoes back here out in the garage. You want to leave them out in a non-refrigerated, not really moist, not really dry, not really warm, not really cold. Just leave them in a normal place for a few days. Basically, as long as it takes them to sort of scab over. You want to be able to touch the cut area, and instead of it feeling wet, you want it to feel dry and bumpy and scabby, because right now it feels wet and smooth. If you plant potatoes while wet, they might rot in the ground, animals might eat them, it's not good. So you want them to just scab over the yellow parts, and you can feel with your fingers when it's ready. It might take 1 day, it might take 4 days, just see what happens. Also, we're just going to plant the potatoes with only one sprouted eye, as is. So, yeah. The next step is to make a good place to grow your potatoes. Here's my potato patch right now. Obviously, it needs to be weeded a little bit. I'm probably not going to attack the grass over there, because that's where the shallots and the onions grow. And right now, you can see the shallots and the onions, and it looks like something has been eating them. As you can see, these were long, healthy like this one. They came to a point, but now they're all hollow, like they've been eaten. So I'm gonna spray some of my rabbit repellent on that, which it's all natural. It's a mix of rosemary and mint and other strong scents that rabbits naturally dislike, but it's all made from plant oil. So it's still safe for me to eat everything that I spray. You can see over here, here's a healthy shallot plant. It has a few nibbles on it in the center, but overall, not too nibbled. But yeah, for potatoes, you're going to want to dig trenches about 2 to 4 inches deep. And most people would recommend 2 feet to 2.5 feet apart. I personally do mine 1 foot apart, because I don't have that much room. Here's our new bat house, by the way, if anyone's interested. But yeah, I'm gonna get digging. If you're digging a trench and you come across a large tree root that just won't budge no matter how much you pull on it, it is appropriate to take some shears and trim it. Now, I think this root is coming from this maple tree. So I'm very sorry, maple tree. You're gonna get a little bit of a snip. I'm digging these trenches in the exact places where I dug them last spring, and this root wasn't here last spring, which means that tree was sending out this root over the winter. Again, tough luck tree, this is my potato patch. Okay, so now I've dug the trenches, and they're not the full depth required because where I live it's really windy. So as the potatoes are scabbing over, the wind's gonna blow this dirt all around back in. This is really just to loosen up the areas where we're gonna dig. On the day of actually planting potatoes, I find it helpful to go out with a hand trowel and make every trench you dug about 1 inch or 2 inches deeper. So I'll see you in a few days. Hey, we're back 2 days later. It's extremely windy out. I think the wind's like 25 miles per hour out there, but they're dry and callous now. These are secure. So we're gonna take these out in the backyard and the ones still in the bag, and we're gonna plant them today. As you can see, since we were last out here, the wet soil has turned into like painful rock-like dirt that like takes effort to crush with my fingers. So I'm actually gonna freaking water the dirt before I plant my potatoes, but I got my trowel. I'm gonna dig each trench a little deeper, but right now you can see it's like sand almost. It's very rough. It's like, yeah, we're gonna dig these a little bit deeper. We're gonna bury the potatoes, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. I'm watering the dirt right now, and just look at how dry it is. Those are cracks that form from the dryness. So I mean, here's a testament to you. If you want to grow potatoes, they will grow anywhere. If they will grow in my like desert, cracked up, dry yard, if they'll grow on freaking Mars, they will grow in wherever you plant them. So if you're looking for a sign to grow potatoes, this is your sign. You can't have worse soil than me. So, you know, you can achieve potatoes. So when you get around to putting the potatoes in the ground, you want their growth to be pointed up towards the earth where they're gonna grow, which means a potato cut the other way to the growth will be planted sideways. Some potatoes might even be planted upside down if their growths are growing upward towards the place that you cut. But it doesn't really matter how you orientate the cut, you just have to place them growth up, put in a little dirt to hold them in place, and then we'll actually officially bury them later once we've got all the potatoes in their trenches. But yeah, orientation of the cut does not matter, orientation of the sprout does. Sorry, my camera keeps unfocusing, it's so bright out here. Well, I just got my first row of potatoes in the ground, which took way longer than I'd like to admit, both because of how dry the soil was and because of how hot it is. I feel like I'm dying. So I'm gonna go fill up this water bucket at my rain barrel and water the first row before I move on to planting the second. While I have the camera on me, I thought might as well show you guys our water collection system. It's literally just hooked up to our roof. One trash can connected to a second trash can, and it works great. See that bird up there? In her nest? Every day, she comes up to my window while my window's open and bops her head at me, and I bop my head back. So, hey bird, this is my friend. My phone is like refusing to accurately show the lighting out here, but here's an alternate photo of my friend where you can see her front and her back. Hello, morning dove. It's plant drink time. Everybody get your drink. So I typically water plants a lot when I first plant them, just to help them set out their roots. But after that, you don't need to water potatoes that much. That would probably be considered overdoing it. I just wanted to make sure that they have a good start. Okay, well, we finally got all 4 rows underground. It was a little bit hazardous due to the 25-mile-an-hour wind combined with the dusty, dry dirt. There were a few times dirt got kicked up into my eyes and I couldn't see for a little bit, which, you know, if you watch my Grow a Bigger Heart Challenge video, you'll know I'm no stranger to temporary blindness. This isn't a joke. Please protect your eyes, don't go blind. That being said, oh, look at the bunny. Phil, look at that bunny. This whole video is basically a garden tour because I keep derailing every few seconds looking at an animal. Anyway, got all the potatoes in the ground. It was a little bit hazardous, but it's worth it. Stay tuned for episode 2, where I'll show you, how to keep them happy and healthy now that they're growing. It's been me, that Ghost. I hope you all have a great afternoon. Wait, before you click off this video, check out the baby strawberry. It's so cute. Okay, you can go now. Bye.